everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
And it does it again. Let me go ahead and fix this so that you don't have like a dark gray screen. And there it is. It is fixed once again. I guess I'm going to have to figure out a way to, how you say, like jury rig like a setup so that I can have the secondary monitor up so that this doesn't happen almost every week. So anywho, to quote the famous Rob Roberts, live radio, boys and girls. So anywho, welcome to Anime Jam Session episode number 706. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ron S.
And I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And Mako-chan is off tonight. She got really sick with something, so she's taking the night off. So she will be back next week to join and torment us with her snide comments and her articles, which is stuff that we really appreciate because we love her so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anywho, let me go ahead and fix this real quick. Evidently, something happened with the font, so I'm going to fix that on the fly. Thank God you could do stuff like that in OBS. So there we go. That is perfect. There we go. I will have to fix the date in a few minutes. So anywho, enough about that. How are you doing tonight, friend?
I'm cold.
Would you like my heater?
I'd like some fucking alcohol. That would be nice.
That's something I really can't help you with, but I mean, there's always mushroom coffee. That actually is pretty good.
Not a fan of coffee. It's left to do.
That was it that rough of a day, my friend?
Well, the past couple days were.
All right.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, I believe that. Plus, I have a story to tell you about work. Jesus. So, and Pod Culture says it is cold AF here too. Well, he's out. I think he's near Louisville, Kentucky, somewhere out there. I don't remember fully, but the LMC.
Where y'all aren't accustomed to getting snow and cold temperatures like this, are you?
But the LMPD Twitter account is outrageous AF with all the snark and unhinged it is. I'm like, this is so good, so good. So, anywho, enough about that. We are live tonight, week of January 27th, 2026, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live from Tuesdays at 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You will always find us on Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. And we're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at VogNetwork.com. And you can find them at Twitch TV/VogNetwork. And hang out in our Discord, VogNetwork.com/Discord. So every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a channel, so come through, hang out, and have a good time with us, because that's how we roll. So now that we got that out the way, I'm going to kick things over to Ari while I kind of tweak a couple of things here. So, Ari, how was your weekend day?
A lot of bullshit revolving around cold and snow. You
Tell us how you really feel.
You see, I got to work when the blizzard hit.
Oof.
Like, the whole thing, I mean. Like, so, like, when did it start? Like, Saturday night into Sunday?
Maybe for y'all, but for us, it started Sunday morning around 5 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's just say that there was a lot of staff shortages this past weekend.
And by
Monday.
And by staff shortages, you mean nobody wanted to come in?
Pretty much, yeah. It got so bad that there was places open with just one person, working out in the lanes.
Mm-hmm.
When most, exits have like at least 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Depending on, how big they are and how much traffic they get.
Mm-hmm.
But no, a shoe but a skeleton workforce was made even skeletoner. Not sure if that's a word, but whatever. The point is,
I got
we
one
were
for you.
short staffed and all over the place, and a bunch of my my coworkers and of course like the collectors themselves don't have to do this, but a bunch of my coworkers were press ganged into doing overtime, including a couple of people who had to work 24 hours straight.
Ooh.
Because there were places that had to be manned, and there was a severe shortage of manpower.
And by severe shortage of manpower, I'm not coming in. You can't make me come in.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, there are benefits being in a union job. You can't be forced, you know? That I get, so.
But with our union, we're compelled to take a certain amount of overtime when it's offered to us.
Mm-hmm. And those people probably already hit their max amount of OT, and they're like, yeah, no, I ain't doing this.
Oh no, it's like for like 2-month periods, I think.
Ooh.
It's like a third of what's offered to you. But still, it was rough. And it took me like 2 hours to get from where I was to where I had to be because of the roads and the capped speed limit at 35 miles an hour.
Right.
And me still being gun shy from getting into an skidding into a ditch on the side of the road. Granted, that was in a company vehicle, but still.
Yeah, no, but I totally get what you're saying.
And now pardon me. And now I just decided that I'm just gonna call out sick today because most of the snow is the snow has stopped falling. The worst of it's over, and I'm just burned out.
No, I get you. I get you. This reminds me of the one AAC that you got stuck on 95 for about 12 hours.
Oh yeah, that one because there was a blizzard, a huge car crash, and choked traffic down to just one lane.
And truth be told, I don't think anybody was expecting it. I mean, like, you left early enough to try to beat the blizzard, and then this happens, and you just wanted to just summon meteor on the person,
Or just take a flamethrower to all these countless pounds of frozen bullshit.
Drop a fat chocobo on them. Podculture says, I got snowed in at a Star Trek con years ago in the Cincy area. Okay. So let's talk about Cat Snow Con.
Oh boy.
For some of you are like, what's Cat Snow Con? Well, boys and girls.
Ooh, my sweet summer child.
Yes. Gather around. Uncle Ranma has a story to tell you. So this was my very first Katsucon 2003. This was known as Cat SnowCon because that Saturday night it started to snow. Bad. Really bad. I'm talking people left after the masquerade bad. Now, I don't know if it really started snowing that night, but it was going to snow and people bailed. A bunch of us like, you know what? It's not going to be that bad. Yeah, we thought wrong. Woke up to about 2 feet of snow, maybe 3 feet. The hotel was gracious enough to allow us to stay Monday night at the con rate. So that was thankful for that. One of my friends called upset because they got stuck on 95 in Jersey and they already put out the notice that you're not allowed on the roads. And one of the people in the
whoops.
And one of the people in the car was having a medical emergency. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? So, first thing we did, we got up, was to get rations. Now, given that it's an anime con, what do you think was the first thing to go?
The ramen?
Yep, instant ramen was the first thing to go. Now, if you are a veteran, before these hotels had the, Keurigs and these fancy coffee makers. It used to be the old regular coffee pots. You still had the pouch for the coffee, but it was a regular coffee pot. You add water and you brewed it. Now, a lot of people started figuring out, oh, you can make instant ramen in the coffee pot. So if you ever seen photos of coffee pots with ramen in it, that's where it came from. There is a picture floating around with somebody who said they put vodka in their ramen, but you know. I just think it was an empty bottle, or it was a bottle full of water, okay? That's what I think it was. Because we got some real stupid people in the community, but I don't think anyone's that stupid. But then again,
you don't know this community very well, do you?
Right. And Bozo06 says, Ramen Hunger Games brought to you by Anime Jam Session. Yes, I will be standing up there with the golden 6-pack of tonkatsu ramen. Like, here you go.
May the odds ever be ever in your favor, bitch.
Thank you. All right, so we end up buying regular ramen. We end up buying cookies and snacks and stuff like that because that's all we were able to get. We got a little something from the McDonald's next door, but it wasn't much. One of the guys in the room was talking about how, Bozo6 says, may the seasoning ever be in your favor. You mean, may the seasoning ever be in your flavor. Good enough. I like that. 50 points to Gryffindor. But anywho.
Imagine the surprise if you crack one open and you get 2 flavor packets. You're going to live like a goddamn king.
I know. So one of the guys in our room talked about how this was a weak snowstorm. This wasn't crap. This wasn't crap at all. Because he's from Detroit. Because to him, they get up in Michigan, in Detroit, they get really bad blizzards and snowstorms. Maybe outside of Detroit, sure. One of the guys in our room was like, can I drop kick him into a snowbank? I'm like, no. Not yet. You must wait 24 hours. Why? He's footing the bill for tonight. So, we end up now.
Smart.
I worked at CVS at the time, and they had an internal phone system. So I was able to call my store and tell them, yeah, I'm not coming into work tomorrow. Why not? Oh, I'm stuck in Crystal City, Virginia. So, fair enough. So, the following Monday, I think they extended it for one more. Because even Monday, it was rough to get out because they were still plowing the streets and the roads. But what happened was the hotel gave us one of the big conference rooms. And they said, if you can get us $500, we can give you the room. So about 5-6 of us started knocking on. No, before that. This was from one of the Katsucon staffers, one of the higher ups. They said that, plus they said we need extra money for food. So I think it was $500 for the room and food, like food platters and drinks and stuff like that. So a bunch of us went knocking on everybody's door, and we assumed everybody in the hotel was part of the convention.
They weren't?
About 90% of the people that we knocked on the door were part of the convention. And we explained everything. We came back with we pooled and got back about $700 to $750. So
not bad.
We had like the large room. Think of it as a large artist alley room. You had a mini artist alley. You had a game. Yeah, it was like a mini con. It's like
a con within a con.
Sorta. It's like you ever go to
Conception.
Yeah. Think of it like this. You ever go to those small conventions or a small con where everything is in one room, like J1 Con? It was like that. But we also had charcuterie boards. We had cold cuts for sandwiches, soda. We was doing it up. We had like a little makeshift karaoke. It was fun. Kevin Lillard, may he rest in peace. He was snowed in with us, and he had it on his website, like photos of us hanging out that night, just doing our thing. And then Tuesday we got on the road and made our way home. So yeah, that was Cat SnowCon. Because I tell you what, there was another threat of a snowstorm the following year. People learned their lesson. People left early Sunday. Just so you know, there wasn't a snowstorm though. But still, people left early. This is no different from when me and Ari went to MagFest. We were trying to beat the snowstorm. We beat it, and then it hit us again when we got near the NSA building. I want you to think about that.
That's because we ran afoul of their weather dominator.
Yes.
They just decided, oh, you missed a snowstorm, huh? Click.
And I remember one.
How about now, dumbass?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No. Wait, no. That was Katsucon, not MagFest. That was Katsu. That was Katsu. Yes.
They're in the same area.
Yeah, because I had like extra people like crashing in my room that year because I was able to get the room, but other people kind of got screwed. I was like, yeah, just give me $40 and you can stay for tonight, whatever. So there is that. And that's Cat SnowCon. I have a badge from that because I ran into somebody. There was someone in Argentina doing custom badges, so I did that. And I have one from Robert De Jesus that says Katsucon 9.1 Con Survivor or something like that. It was great.
Of course, in my part of the world, everyone compares like any major blizzard, at least nowadays, they'll compare either to 93 or 96.
I don't really remember 93. 96, I definitely remember because I made so much money that year.
Was when it was like over 2 feet, but it was like super powdery, and but we got like a week off of school from it, and my friend Mike and I we pretty much spent the entire day either playing out in the snow or playing video games in my house.
See,
and 96 was it didn't get as much snow, I don't think. But a lot of it was a lot of the chaos from that was caused by freezing rain, which gave a nice hard icy shell over all the all the snow that was left on the ground, and that just made things. It was fucking impossible to shovel because it was so goddamn heavy.
Like I said, the only thing about that I remember is the fact that I made so much money, shoveling snow, and honestly, I don't think I'll ever do that again. I mean, I'll shovel snow, but I'm not going to go out there and do that, Bonzo6 says, I left New York City for spring and went back to winter in Boston for Boston Anime Boston. Yep. He wasn't living in NYC in 96, but his cousins told him about it after they moved. Oh, yeah. Let me turn
and of course, our friends over at NerdFit opened his back door and there's 20 inches of snow out in the ground. He's like, I'm tired, boss.
Boy, you ain't tired just yet. Shovel that snow. Anywho. So, let me tell you about my weekend day. So, it started off pretty decent, I had to take care of some stuff, between a couple of friends of mine, and it's been settled. I'm just glad we've come to something. There is that. Friday, I went to the bar, hung out with some friends. Saturday, I went to see my boy Matt Saturday because I went to rebuild his computer. Now, excuse me, I may post this on my main site, on my Facebook page, but what I did was I still held on to my very first AMD Ryzen board. This was the board I bought when my AMD setup kind of shit itself. And this is when we were starting to go on Twitch. And this was I think this was when Mako had bought us the tickets to that beer festival. And I had to leave early because Newegg shipped everything and I did normal shipping. And somehow it showed up early Sunday. I was like, holy crap, it arrived on a Sunday? So I grabbed it, brought it inside. And I built my system. So it was an AMD Ryzen X470 board, Ryzen 2000 2700 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, all that. And I still held on to it because I figured it would come in handy. Eventually, I believe I ended up getting a couple of more processors through upgrades. And I gave it to our friends at Starlit Creations so they could do work with that. Because I'm like, I'd rather give the parts to somebody as opposed to selling it. Because one thing about AMD's AM4 stuff, it's still good. So I basically had the processor, got another board, memory and all of that. And I put it in Matt Saturday's machine. Because his computer for just media, like watching Netflix, Hulu, and playing music, that Intel board was maybe almost 20 years old. So we had to replace the case, and I had to pull stuff from the case, put it into the new machine, got it up and running, and that machine is purring like a cat. It's still good. It's running great. The only thing I have to do is go back to his place and upgrade it from Windows 10 to Windows 11. That's all I gotta do. And that'll take me maybe 2-3 hours, so I'll let it do its thing. So there is that. So that was good. Sunday I relaxed, did some, and I just chilled because Sunday that's when the blizzard started. Now here's the thing: I'm right by a 24-hour CVS, so the plan was after I come back from Matt Saturday's place, I was gonna take the bus all the way down to the CVS, grab my meds, and come home. And I totally forgot, didn't realize that till I got home and saw my shelf. I was like, oh. By this time, I'd already changed. I'm just like, nah, I'll do it. I'll risk it tomorrow. So I'm chatting with a friend of mine, Amanda Panda cosplay, and I'm like, I got to go out. And I'm like, I got to get my meds. If I'm not back by a certain time, it's been real. And during all of this, I am prepping. I'm helping to prep for OLR 2DX. Like I was waiting on Patty Knox to get the voice clips, and I was putting everything together. I'm like, I gotta take a break, run and go do this, and come back. Took me about an hour to get on the bus down there and back to get my meds, and that was good. Came back, took care of all the video I needed to do. Sent Jamie the video so we have like a good opening. And I have to say, between me, Brad, and Jamie, Dark Sakura, we had one hell of a show. And we did that. And it came down to the wire to get everything together, and I'm so proud of the work that we did. So, did that. We did the premiere of OLR 2DX, which is now season 2, episode 1. So I got to update that on the RSS feed, but that was fun. We had a great time. So I will promote it later in housekeeping, but check us out Sundays, 9 p.m. on Vogue Network. So there is that. And then normally what I do is when I talk about my weekend day, I stop up until yesterday, and whatever happens today, I save for next week. But you know what? I got to tell you all this. So one of the things at work I've had to do was set up a bunch of like hoteling desks or desks for new hires, and they get brand new mouse, keyboard, dock, monitors, all that cool stuff. So I get a message today about one of the locations I had completed, and it says it's empty. I'm like, no, I know I set that up. So we end up getting more equipment, and I go up to that desk. The desk is literally empty. The monitors are gone. The dock is gone. The mouse and keyboard is gone. The phone is gone.
Walk out with everything?
Yeah, the phone was gone, and so were the cords, everything. And I look underneath the desk. It's a rising desk. Underneath all these desks is like a little hammock that you unhook, and there is a surge protector where everything is plugged in. And I've had to work and plug stuff in there. I leave everything hooked. I go over there, it is unhooked, sagging. I'm just like, yeah, somebody came through here. Either they think it was stolen. I think that whoever was there ended up moving to another desk location. That's what I think happened. So we'll find out tomorrow. So I was just like, what in the flying F? So, anywho, that was our weeks and days. And now that we got that out the way, we are going to get into some housekeeping, and then we're going to get into some news for y'all. So we want to let you know that episodes of our podcast, Anime Jam Session, will be available Thursdays at 12 p.m. on YouTube. YouTube.com/Anime Jam Session. Anime Jam Session. The videos I put is Anime Jam Session TV for convention, so enjoy those. I do have some website news for y'all. I did mention a few weeks back that we ran into some website issues. We ran into more issues, but everything has been resolved. All of our articles, everything that we've worked on for the last 15 plus years for the site is there. The only issue is photos. Somebody somehow accessed the root server and just wiped everything. Now, the reason why the articles are still there, if you have a WordPress site, anything text related is saved in a massive database. So that's why the articles are there. If it was all wiped out, I was ready to start anew, but here we are. We're not really starting anew. Everything is back text-wise. We just have to put photos up there, which is why last week's podcast is not connected because I ran into some stuff. So I will be playing around with a couple of things to make sure that the podcast gets up there. So everybody, will be working behind the scenes to get stuff up there. So just bear with us. This includes Anime Jam Session, DJRonMess.net, and the Crystal Chronicles. OLR, OrangeLaunchRadio.com, is not affected by that because that was set up after all of that. So we're golden with that. Let's see, what else do we have here? I think that's it. Yeah. I think that is it. So I am going to kick things over to Ari, and he's going to tell us about the popularity of Dragon Ball characters while I enjoy my mushroom coffee.
Okay, Dragon Ball has revealed the single most popular Dragon Ball character in the world, according to a new officially conducted survey.
Is it Goku?
Hang on, let's get there. The final voting period was December 17th to the 26th of last year, narrowing this to the top 21 most popular characters announced during a recent live stream hosted by Toyotaro and Victory Uchida on the Dragon Ball YouTube channel. And the top 5 are: 1 is Goku, 2 is Vegeta, 3 is Gohan, 4 is Piccolo, and 5 is Vegito.
I don't think the top 4 will ever change.
Maybe some difference in the, who knows? I mean,
I have a feeling if they do this again, like next year, number 5 will be Trunks.
The future one, I presume you're talking about.
Yes, future Trunks. Yes.
But yeah, this is part of their 40th anniversary celebration. All the good stuff coming by that. We also see some surprises like future Trunks retained his 6th place position for the first 3 elimination periods, and Frieza was consistently outvoted by Cell, which if you're a Goku fan, you're eating good.
Mm-hmm.
Vegeta fans are in shambles, but then again, what else is new?
Nothing new about that.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, again, let's do this again, and let's get future Trunks to the 5th place position, shall we?
Yeah. Because Goku and Vegeta are technically on here twice because of the fusion.
Yes, and I guess fusions count as does count as separate characters. So, but anyhow, we're gonna talk about the Madoka movie that's coming up, and for some reason, I just realized that it didn't refresh. So we're gonna do that real quick. So I'm gonna watch it go up, and there we go. Now we're going to refresh the timeline yet again. Now, you're probably wondering why I sometimes have these issues with the timelines and so forth. So, the coding for this is designed for a Steam Deck. I have an AverMedia Live Nexus. It does the same thing, but what happens is that when it does it, it just adds an extra, it adds like an extra tab open, and I'm just like, why you do that? I never asked you to do that. And I just realized I'm trying to flip back and forth between an article, like why is it not here? And I realized, in my ever wild genius of getting shit together, I forgot to add it. So I'm going to do that real quick behind the scenes so that we can put that in there and save it. And there we go. And it should reflect right about, there we go. Perfect. And why is the G is like, I guess that's, yeah, I'm going to have to play around with the font and just see like, why is it doing that little extra pixelation on the letter G? So anyhow, reason why I wanted to do that is that I wanted to talk about No, don't do that. Oh, Jesus. You know, I'm just going to force it. Evidently, with all of these open tabs, the code doesn't know any better, so bear with me here. This retrieve. There we go.
What is this tab management and that people speak of?
Well, I don't know, but I actually have a tab management extension, and one of the things I love about Opera, you can have different workspaces. So I have a separate workspace just for the Twitch stream to flip things around. So I'm like, thank God for that. But anyway,
Also, you probably didn't see it in like one of your like Instagram reels or whatever because you're not from this area. But Sunday afternoon, people in Philly were sledding down the steps of the art museum in the snow.
is that the same art museum that Sylvester Stallone as Rocky
Yeah,
runs
that's
up? Okay.
yeah, the art museum in Philly.
Well,
Yep,
given
that
how
one.
those steps are, I would go sledding down that too. That sounds fun.
The city was also it's lots of fun from the look of it, and there was also people in dune buggies and ATVs, tearing ass around frozen sections, doing donuts, and people were like skiing and snowboarding, being dragged from the backs of cars.
I would go.
Like you're just
I
holding
would.
onto
I would go snowmobiling. Real talk.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
I remember a coworker sent me a video of that one time, like a couple of years back. It snowed in Atlanta, and he sent me a video of someone like skiing to work, And then I saw a video, I think it was on ABC7, where they showed snowing in New York City. One guy with his skis on going across the street. I'm like, it be like that. I mean, like for the last
We're a
couple
step away from seeing the ad hoc snowshoes made out of like strapping tennis rackets to your feet.
The last couple of days, I mean, I've been wearing boots, but now, today and the rest of the week, I'll be wearing sneakers because by now, the paths have been shoveled out and so forth. And by the way, there's this thing that Philly does. I think it's only Philly and like 5 cities in this country that do this. And us from New York City look at y'all like, nah, we don't do that. Saving parking spots.
Oh yeah, savesies.
We don't do that in New York, okay? We don't. Here's how it's done in New York City. You want to save that parking spot? You leave your car right there. There's no place to move your fucking car. Simple as that. And I've seen the memes and like videos and stuff.
Like someone left a fucking lawn chair in the middle of the snowbank. Like, motherfucker.
I would love to see a New Yorker just roll into that spot and some Philly dude's like, what do you do? They just start getting into a fight because New Yorker like, we don't do this. Too bad. One New Yorker versus a bunch of Philadelphians over a parking spot.
Sounds like another Tuesday afternoon in Philly. Okay, I know that really got you because your mic just completely topped out and went quiet when you laughed like that.
Sorry. But
no, it was great. It was great.
No. You have to say that line again, but in the style of M. Bison.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like,
yes.
For you, trying to get a parking spot was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. Whatever. I don't have to go into work until the afternoon tomorrow.
That's fine. I gotta go into my normal time, but I gotta leave a little bit early because the buses are going at slow speeds. So, anywho, let's talk about Madoka Magica. The movie, while Persnach Rising, has been postponed again, but this time is due to production reasons. Next month, they're going to announce a brand new date regarding that. It was supposed to drop back in winter 2024. Then it was pushed to winter 2025. And for the same reason. And now it's going to be confirmed for 2026, where they'll say officially when, or if it's going to be postponed yet again. The committee apologized for things, declaring that they will continue to work passionately on our creations to deliver even better work. So, the team that worked on Rebellion came back to work on this feature film while Persnotch Rising, which reminds me, I have to watch Rebellion and I gotta watch Magia Record so I can kind of understand everything that's going on. And chief director of this is Akiyuki Shimbo. Yukihiro Miyamoto is directing the film, and Nitro Plus's Jin Orobuchi, which is a name we've said here a few times before, wrote the script. Akiyumi is designing the characters with support from Junichiro Taniguchi, who is taking those designs and making them fit for the animation, which should be great. Just remember one thing when you watch Madoka Magica TV series, OVAs, movies, whatever. Just remember one thing: Homura did nothing wrong. And if you don't believe me, I call on the Saturn Defense. And if you don't know what the Saturn Defense is, I suggest you go back and read the chapters of Sailor Moon S or watch season 3 of Sailor Moon Crystal. Yeah. Anywho, Ari, tell us about what's happening with the Eisner Hall of Fame. Looks like some good stuff here.
Yes, it does. Let me bring this up. The Will Eisner Comic Industry Awards announced on Thursday the 19th Judges' Choice honorees will be inducted into the 2026 Hall of Fame, including manga creator Go Nagai. The committee who chooses the inductees includes Michael T. Gilbert, Karen Greed, Alonso Nunez. Huh?
No, I was going thumbs up, a good thing.
Oh. Alonso Nunez, Diana Schultz, Jim Thompson, and Maggie Thompson. The other inductees include Edwina Dunn, posthumous, Oliver Harrington, Don Heck, Abe Kangason, Paul S. Newman, Hector German Osterheld, Tom Palmer Sr., Jimmy Swinnerton, all of which are posthumous.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Balling, Jerry Colloway, Dennis Cowan, Mike Frederick, Lee Mars, Bud Plant, Mike Royer, Dave Sim, Carol Tyre, and Rick Veit.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. They'll also announce 16 additional nominees for the 2026 Hall of Fame from the judges next week. The voters in the comics industry will elect 4 winners. Let's see. Of the many genres of manga popular today in the United States, there are a few that Go Nagai, aka Kiyoshi Nagai, has not either influenced or outright created. On Mazinger Z, he created the first mecha robots, which is popular more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
With Cutie Honey, he pioneered the magical girl genre. The post-apocalyptic visions, dark violence, and psychological depth presented in such works as Violence, Jack, and Devilman were hugely influential, not only in Japan, but the world over.
Mm-hmm.
Much of his work continues to be adapted across other media to this day. So yeah, Cutie Honey, Devilman, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, and Harenchi Gakuen. That's some of the things he's done. The guy was honored with the Order of the Rising Sun Award, gold raised with a rosette for a significant skill and contribution to the country in November.
That's cool. That was amazing.
And some other Japanese inductees were Osamu Tezuka, Kazuo Koike, Gosei Kojima, Katsuhiro Otomo, Rumiko Takahashi, Moto Hagio, and KJ Nakazawa. And Junji Ito as well.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, this next story.
Yeah, he's also known for the hot-blooded style of sideburns. You know, ones are like huge. Might as well like be a little big, like bigger, littler tufts of hair, like right here.
Hold on, right where?
Like
yeah. Oh, that I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. And for some reason, Bean Bandit came to mind. So, I know. So the next thing we're going to talk about has kind of ruffled some feathers, and felt that there's going to be a change in influence in animation because of this agreement. This agreement is basically Netflix and MAPPA strengthening their partnerships. And now people are feeling that because of this partnerships, they're going to kind of force these anime companies to do more westernized stuff. No, it's not that
No,
at all.
they won't.
Um, Slow your roll. It's basically a partnership to what they're going to do. They're going to Netflix and Mappa is going to co-develop stuff and stream original series. So basically, what's happening is Netflix is going to help Mappa get some animes done. In exchange, they're going to be exclusive for streaming their shows. Now you have to understand Netflix is basically the number one streaming service worldwide. So that makes most amount of sense for these animation companies to work with Netflix to get their titles out there. Yes, there are other streaming companies you can go with, but you probably want to go with the number one series. I mean, the number one streaming service. So basically, anything new coming out of Mappa will stream exclusively and simultaneously on Netflix, and it'll be worldwide. And they also have similar alliances with N-A-Z, another animation studio, not the rapper, Science Saru. They have similar partnerships with Anima, Sublimation, David Production, which is probably explains why they got the last 2 seasons of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They also have Production IG and Wit Studios and Bones. With Production IG, it does explain how they got exclusive to Ghost in the Shell. During Mappa's previous alliance with Netflix, most of their works was on the service, such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, Hell's Paradise, Kakegurui Twin, Ranma 1/2, Maboroshi, and Rose of Versailles. But also understand that Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, I believe Hell's Paradise, they're also simultaneously on Crunchyroll as well. The announcement noted that more than half of Netflix members watch anime on the service and added that anime viewership has tripled over the past 5 years. It does make sense, and I'm kind of cool about that. You know, I do have access to multiple services, so I'm kind of covered either way, so. All right, Ari, what's going on with Universal Studios Japan and Pokemon? Besides having to catch them all.
Mm-hmm. They announced on Thursday that the theme park is developing an interactive Pokemon experience attraction project that it plans to implement first in the Universal Studios Japan theme park before rolling it out to the rest of their theme parks worldwide. Universal Studio Japan did not reveal the attraction's debut. They just recently opened a Donkey Kong Country area in 2024. Orlando opened the Universal Epic University theme parks featuring its own Super Nintendo world and a new area based on the Donkey Kong Country games in May 2025. Super Nintendo World opened at the Universal Studios Hollywood theme park in February 2023. We got things like Mario Kart, Bowser's Challenge, Toadstool Cafe, One-Up Factory, character meet and greets, and interactive features using power-up bands. Universal Studios Japan's Super Nintendo World area officially opened in March 2021. They plan to open it late in July 2020 in time for the COVID Olympics, but we all know what was going on in the world then. They invested over 6 billion yen, which is about $56 million, in the new area to raise attendance to record levels. The effort is part of the larger planned Nintendo-themed initiative that Universal is adding to its theme parks. So basically, you got a real-life Nurse Joy, a real-life Pokemon Center. You know, all the fixins.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, me too.
My one thing though, I just wish that I was able to finish doing Donkey Kong Country. We didn't have enough time for that, or because it's me and CC Gray, which we went to Japan. We did Universal Studios Japan, and it was fun. We didn't get on all of the rides because Yeah, we was a tad bit husky for the rides, so that was kind of interesting to say the least. And if things didn't happen the way it was last year, I would have gone to Universal this year just to go to Super Nintendo World here because I'm like, well, they made the rides big enough for us big dudes, so I gotta check it out. So I will say this: if I do plan on going to Universal this year, but it will not be during the summer. I am probably if things fall the way they do, I'm probably gonna do it in December, something like that. Kind of arrange my time off days so I can do like a 4 day jaunt and just have a good time. Since I do have friends down there, because it's like 75 degrees in Florida, so why not?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna get into our final story of the night before we flip things over to Meanwhile in Japan. Uh, Rumiko Takahashi made a surprise visit to a San Francisco manga exhibition featuring her works. I was like, holy crap, dude. So, the legendary mangaka said that she visited the De Young Museum's Art of Manga exhibition, which was in San Francisco. Takahashi also noted that she presented a sketch on a shikishi board for Viz Media's promotion. And there's a little picture of her looking so adored by her work. I wish I could have been there for that because if it wasn't for Rumiko Takahashi, this probably would not be happening right now. So, and for those of you who want to know what a shikishi board is, I think it's a square board that has like a yellow goldish border, and there's art on it. For those of you who are in the Love Life fandom, those boards that you get when you go to like certain events and so forth, that's what shikishi boards are. I don't have any here, they're in storage, but if I did, I would definitely show one off. The shikishi board that she presented featured Inuyasha and Kagome, who are interestingly enough, reading Urusei Yatsura. The museum, which is part of the Fine Arts Museum of San Francisco, described the exhibit as the first exhibition in the Americas to explore manga as an art form. It features original manga by Takahashi, Fujio Akatsuka, Hirohiki Araki, Tetsuya Chiba, Oda Achiro, Tagami Gengaro, Tanami Keiichi, Taniguchi Jiro, Yamashita Kazumi, Yamazaki Mari, and Yoshinaga Fumi. The exhibit opened September 27th of last year, and it's going to be there for another 4 days, I believe, which February 1st is the last day. So you have 5 days to go check this out. In the span of 3 decades, Rumiko Takahashi has created very popular mangas such as Urusei Yatsura, Maisuni Koku, Mermaid Saga, Rumik Theater, Ranma One Half, One Pound Gospel, and Inuyasha. Many of her works have become internationally popular and inspired anime and live-action adaptations. Now, what's interesting is there was a big rumor that Rumiko Takahashi was going to retire from creating mangas after she does titles based around her name. Rumiko. R for Ranma One Half, U for Urusei Yatsura, M for Maisoni Koku, I for Inuyasha, let's see, K and O. O would be for One Pound Gospel. And I don't know what the K is. I don't know all of Takahashi's works. So, is what it is. And now that we got that out the way, we want to get into the part of the show that y'all really enjoy more than anything else. Meanwhile in Japan. Now, normally we would have
3 of us.
3 of us. Yes, I'm sorry. My mind kind of just went for a split second. But we got, so 2 of us, we're going to probably do 2 stories, maybe a third if there is time. So, Ari, go ahead and pick your poison.
I guess I'll take the second one.
How did I know that?
It seemed the most absurd and out of pocket out of the 3 of them.
True. I'll take the first one, and I kind of wish I had gotten a chance to check out this place. I've seen them, but I never ate anything from there. It's a fast food chain called Loteria, and all of the restaurants are going to close by the end of March. And you're probably wondering, why is that happening? So the thing is, it's being closed due to an acquisition. The first Loteria appeared back in 1972, originally as a way for the Loteria snack, Lotte Snack Company to let people sample their ice cream, with the name being a mashup of latte and cafeteria. Makes sense. As the years went by, they found a niche and more Japanese-oriented fast foods like their shrimp burger, which was a novelty at the time. That's something I want to try. The chain's growth. I know you're not big into seafood. I totally get that. The chain's growth peaked in 2009 with 524 locations nationwide, but the number has been on a steady decline since. There are only about 106 Loteria restaurants in operations across Japan, but this wasn't due to pure closures. A number of these locations have been reinvented as Zeteria restaurants since 2023. Zeteria is both and isn't Loteria. The name is a result of Lotte Holdings controlling stake in the chain being bought by Zensho, a holding company that owns a number of other restaurant chains such as Beef Bowl dealer Sukiya. I think I've been there, which is good. And Japan's version of Big Boy, which mostly sells steaks and hamburgers without the buns. Ooh, I gotta try that. Zeteria's menu shares many of the same names as Loteria's, but the presentation may vary. As an example, Loteria's popular Zeppin burgers can be found in Zeteria, but are sometimes differently shaped and use different buns. On the other hand, limited edition sandwiches like the Loteria Okonomiyaki burger were just as easily found at Zeteria. So it looks like Zensho is ready to deliver the coup de grace and replace all the remaining Loteria restaurants with Zeteria by the end of this fiscal year. If anything, this ought to put an end to all the confusion having a Loteria and a Zeteria coexisting, which was causing things according to online commenters about the news. Comments such as, "I thought those were knockoff restaurants. I just hope they keep the shrimp burgers. The old Zeppin cheeseburgers were too small and never left me satisfied. Loteria is better than Burger King. Zeteria always gives discounts on Uber Eats." Some readers in other countries might be wondering what this means for the Loteria restaurants near them. Well, you don't have to worry about that. The Loteria restaurants in Japan were owned by the original company Lotte Holdings, whereas all Loteria restaurants outside of Japan are run by the Lotte Group, a subsequent more powerful Korean arm of the Lotte business empire. Their subsidiary, Lotte GRS, is currently still in charge of all non-Japanese Loterias, and it doesn't seem like it's making any changes anytime soon. In fact, the very first American Loteria just opened last year. Ooh. As for Japan, whether this is good news or bad news, depending on whether you see the brand name as half empty or half full. Fair enough. And the location is in Fullerton, California. Okay. I wonder if I have any people out there that I can stay with to go check this out. Just curious. Alright, Ari, it's on you, my friend.
A man was arrested in rural Japan on charges of leaving obscene DVDs in stores as gifts for healthy men.
What?
Generally, generosity is considered a virtue, an active willingness to give something of value to others without any expectation of compensation or reward in return is all else equal to sort of mentality that would make our world a better place if more people had it. But in a town of Komatsushima in Tokushima Prefecture, at around 3 a.m. on December 9th, a laundromat worker discovered someone had left a DVD on a counter within the facility with the following message written on the disc's otherwise blank surface: "For healthy men, feel free to take this." It's not clear whether the laundromat worker personally checked the disc's contents or if that was done by police, but the disc turned out to contain indecent videos and stills of women.
Oof.
As the term is generally not applied in criminal proceedings to professionally produce pornography, The insinuation that the dish showed women either engaged in sexual acts or compromising situations taken by upskirt or hidden restroom cameras, fucking gross,
Mhm.
either without consent to be filmed or for the images to be distributed. Local media reports that the women shown in the images are residents of Tokushima, with the prefecture being one of Japan's least populous and not known for having an especially outsized amateur porn community. That would make it all the more likely the images were voyeuristic in nature and taken without consent. Somewhat ironically, unobtrusive recording may have also led the police to the person responsible. A similar DVD was left at a konbini near the laundromat on the same night, and after examining the in-store security from the two locations, they were able to identify a 67-year-old construction company exclusive for Mima a few towns over.
Wow.
Ugh. Like, geez, dude. You really don't think people don't have access to the internet? What the hell?
Well, he did say rural, so I'm not surprised, you know. Or maybe he had stuff that was better than what you could find on the interwebs. Sometimes that does happen.
Hard to say.
Mm.
Anyway, I think we're able to get out of here, right?
Yeah, but you know what? We got time. So I'm going to fire off the last story and call it. Because
Okay,
I'm
that
kind,
works for
I'm
me.
kind, I'm kind of curious about this. I'm just like, it's like Gen X is not allowed here. Boomer is not allowed here. Like, what?
I'll be right back, kiddies.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. All right. So, anywho, it seems that a Tokyo pub is explicitly soft bans customers older than 39 years old from entering, and other restaurants are doing minimum age entry as well. So, like a lot of value-conscious izakayas, better known as Japanese pubs, the Dogenzaka branch of Toriyato in downtown Shibuya has a bunch of signs near the entrance trumpeting their special offers and most popular items. But one of the posted notices is something much less common and reads: entrance is limited to customers between the ages of 29 and 39. This is an izakaya for younger generations, U40. Pub under 40 only. Though not a chain-wide policy, this branch makes it very clear that it wants to be a place for 20 and 30-year-olds. Okay. The sign does include annotations that as long as no one in the party is 39 or younger, older customers will be admitted with them. Also, friends and families of employees, as well as business partners of the restaurant, are accepted from the restriction, but these are much smaller print and much more noticeable warnings than 40 and up. So, if we were in a party going to this place, and I am the oldest one, but y'all are within range, I could still come and enjoy pub food and pub drink with y'all. But why is there such an age restriction? Toshihiro Nagano, a PR representative for the chain, says that it's about ensuring a match between customer preferences and the in-pub atmosphere. And I get that. Essentially, our customer base is young. With older customers, they tend to make a lot of complaints about the restaurant being noisy and such, so we decided to limit who's coming in so that everyone can go home happy about the experience that they had. Makes sense, you know. I get that. I'm not one of those who would complain, but I'm slightly older than what their restrictions are, but you know, I get it. Toriyato isn't the only isekai in the neighborhood that's put an age restriction in place beyond that of legal drinking age of 20. Yayoya is a more upscale place that's in Shibuya, has gone the other way, putting in admission requirements in order to keep the clientele from being too young by letting it being known that it welcomes customers 25 and up. But if you are under the age restriction with somebody who is within their restriction, you can dine with them. We want to be a place where adult customers can relax and enjoy their meals, says owner Masayuki Segawa. In order to let people enjoy going out in Shibuya 10 or 20 years ago, enjoy doing so again, we limit admission to those 25 and older. The concept of different restaurants tailoring their mood and menu to cater to one demographic or another is nothing new. And in fact, even without explicit age restrictions, it seems like things would naturally be shaken out of Tutoriado's customers being primarily in their 20s and 30s, and Yaoyaba skewing older. Aside from the interior designs and acoustics, there's a wide gulf in prices between the two. But some of Toriyado's drinks so cheap that you can get a cocktail and 3 side dishes for about 2,000 yen, which is like $13. Whereas price might only get you a single dish at Yaoyaba. Nevertheless, the two dining establishments have decided to make explicit rules about who is and isn't being welcomed with open arms, and Japanese online netizens have been divided about it. Comments such as, "This is discriminatory. The average age of Japan is over 48 years old now. I think the places that do this will have a hard time earning money and will be bankrupt in 10 years. There's a difference between people's physical and mental ages." That is valid.
That's a little problematic the way that was phrased.
But it's not wrong though. Like, there are people who are physically 65, but they act like they're 45 or something like that. So they're not, that I get. Now, another comment here called, "So the people from the Ice Age generation are shut out." Now, the Ice Age generation comment is a reference to Japan's so-called employment ice age, a social phenomenon that took place during the mid-90s to the mid-2000s. With the collapse of Japan's bubble economy, companies severely cut back on hiring, new employee salaries, the wage increases, which had been the norm for decades before. The result is a generation of Japanese adults who were too young to enjoy the steady income growth that their parents did, and who are too old to benefit from the boost to new higher salaries being offered by large companies. As such, the idea that people in their 40s have no interest in or need to affordable dining options isn't really true, and explains who a large number of commenters have bristled the age of an upper age limit for a lower price restaurant. As for the question about it being a legal form of discrimination, it's a bit of a gray area. When it came down to it, if someone from outside stated allowed ages were asked for a table or reservation, Yaoyaba, which allows people under 25, says that it instead recommends one of its nearby affiliate restaurants with younger clienteles. Toriyaro, meanwhile, admits that despite the sign saying over 40 cannot get in with an under 40 companion or personal connection to the staff, the restaurant will actually admit over 40 customers after some negotiation. We explained that our restaurant is noisy. Is that okay with you? If we talk and it's a case I'm older than 40 but have a spirit of a 20-something, then they're welcome. It's worth noting, though, asking someone to bend the rules for you is something that, culturally speaking, isn't done very often in Japan. With Toriyado's pre-posted signs saying diners over 40 aren't admitted, and the workarounds of unless you're okay with the noise level being somewhat that is kept, essentially a secret until someone asks if it's okay for them to break the rule. For the vast majority of would-be customers, the results is likely to be the same as an ironclad ban. Wow. Cedarberry says, as of 2 weeks ago, tomorrow I am too old for them. And Bonzo will success, so adult content connoisseur is a new wave. Fair enough. And I think on that note, we should wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Let me pull up my theme, and let's get up on out of here. So, if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. Then turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're going to tell you. That's how we roll. If you have any questions about the show, please drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Please check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find, on our site, not just our weekly podcast, anime reviews, editorials, cosplay interviews, cosplay tips and tricks. You will find links to our YouTube and Facebook pages of cosplay and convention coverage. All that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. And if you like the show, please subscribe to us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere where podcasts are available. Now, I said YouTube Music because Google Podcasts is no longer a thing, and that's been folded into YouTube Music. And you can also find us on Amazon Music too, so show us a little bit of love there too. Our social media pages, it's Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Blue Sky. It would come up as animejamsession.com on Blue Sky, but it's still the same thing. And for those of you who subscribe to our socials, thank you so much. We couldn't do this without y'all. We really appreciate that. Now, if you're participating with us right now, below our feed, in our description, is live links to our tip jars, our stream elements, our stream labs, and our Ko-Fi pages. If you want to send us money, we really appreciate that. You can cheer us on with bits. You can also sub to the channel and give out gift subs as well. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Ari.
There's supposed to be another snowstorm coming in, even with this.
Good God.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
My last words. I kicked up my Ozempic to 1 milliliter. And evidently that must be kicking in, because I could not finish my dinner of my 6 wings and salad. I am hoping that after I ate some, podcasted, and relaxed, I should be able to finish the rest. If not, it's going in the fridge and it's going to be dinner for tomorrow. So, that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week. And we're wishing Mako-chan to get well soon because we miss her. We miss her snark and chaos. So hopefully she'll be back with us then. In the meantime, I'm Ranma.
And I'm Ari.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Say goodnight, Ari.
Good night, Ari.
Perfect. Awesome. We're out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!